notice that I'm not standing in the entrance. I'm standing beside or behind the hive, but not in the door. Because oddly, bees don't go around you, they just pile up behind you. And if you stand in the doorway, you'll turn around and there's be this whole like holding pattern, like how do we get in? So, they're building burr comb, which is any comb that not where we want it. All in the So there's usually a lot of bees on the bottom of this. So I'm gonna set it on sideways, catty corner on here, so I don't crush the bees that are on the bottom of that. Oh good, we're not gonna need our next hive body yet. So I'm gonna take out this edge one because obviously the queen is not over here. And even when the hive's totally full, she's almost never on the edge one because that's where the honey is supposed to be. And the queen doesn't need the honey. Now, see this circle of bees right here? So the queen is right under that circle usually. She might be under this circle.
When were these put in?
These were put in on April 29th.
So the same time that
Yeah.
all of us put ours in.
Yep. So the more she's gonna run because the queen doesn't like light. So this is all capped brood right here. It's not a perfect pattern, but not bad. See, I'm holding it over the hive in case the queen is here. She falls back in, not on the ground. See this bee doing this little thing? Mm-hmm. That's actually not like a pollen dance or anything. She's asking to be groomed. She's like, my back itches, would you scratch me? So the queen is not there, but we know we have capped brood, and we know we have not a super great pattern, which is not too upsetting because it's a new queen. That's fine. I'm going to put this in and push it up so these are touching, and then I'm going to go to the next one. Because even if we don't see the queen, we need to see eggs or at least tiny larvae. So we're going to keep going until we see what we're looking for. Same thing, capped brood. This is capped honey in the corners. Not a great pattern.
Until you see tiny worms, you said?
Tiny larvae.
Oh, okay.
And they are wormy things.
Right, okay.
Yep.
So they wouldn't be in the capped area.
There are a few, like she's backfilling those empty spaces, but I want to find a place with a bunch of them so that you guys can actually see them. So I can pass this around and y'all can try to look. Same thing. You know, not a great pattern. This, I'd kind of wished she'd tighten it up a little bit, but we're not going to get too worried about it for a while. This isn't too bad here. And another thing, when it's cool, sometimes they leave spaces like that so that a bee can go down in the space and warm them. See, this is a queen cup right here. And they're actually paying a lot of attention to that queen cup. I'm going to take another look, make sure this queen isn't on this frame before I get excited about getting it away from the top of the hive.
So you weren't feeding these bees, were you?
Yes, we are. There's the fear.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, even if there's a larva in it, after we've seen for sure that we have eggs and larvae. We're not going to cut it out till we know for sure. And I actually don't see anything in it, which is good. Part of the reason we humans are thinking that the bees supersede the queen so fast is because when they come, they're really immature, so they don't have very good pheromones, and also because there isn't brood in the hive to start with. And if you think like a bee, whose fault is it that there's no brood?
Queens.
There she is.
Where? I've never seen one.
Yeah, I see her.
Yeah.
I don't see her.
I see her, yeah.
Did you see your cat?
Right there in the center. She's gorgeous.
I've never seen one. I don't even know what I'm looking for.
Right, too. Right.
Oh, I'm huge.
Okay, so now that we see her, we're actually gonna mark her.
Now what are we gonna do?
We're gonna put a mark on her.
You're gonna mark her? Yeah. Oh, we might mark yours. I did see her.
No, I'm not. I'm just gonna hold her still.
You're holding her?
Yep. So I'm holding her only by her shoulders, her thorax,
Uh-huh.
and I'm gonna hold that a little minute so she dries. I am not touching her abdomen at all. This is the tricky part about marking a queen, is if you touch their abdomen, they're all done.
Really?
What do you mean they're all done?
They won't lay any eggs anymore.
Do we have to mark her?
So just
No,
the very end.
no, you don't. And this is definitely not a thing for a beginner to do. So now, see, she's walking around on the bottom. So I don't want to put her in while she's by the bottom, or I might crush her. Now that I see where she is, and I'm putting this back in the same direction it was in, she's making me pretty nervous.
Is she?
Because she's walking
Right on
around
the
on the bottom and
Oh.
edge where I could potentially crush her. Okay, now she's kind of in the middle. So I'm gonna put her back. And I'm gonna put her, she's right there. So see, I put that right back and pushed it up where it's supposed to be tight.
Yeah.
That way, now I know she's safe and I'm not moving stuff around in there. Now a lot of beginners will actually try to put this back together by moving each frame individually. And when you do that, every time you separate these shoulders here,
Yeah.
you have a chance to crush bees. So just move them all together like this. That way the shoulders stay together and you don't crush bees in there.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing.
Oh, you know what? I forgot we were gonna cut out that queen cup.
Oh, yeah.
We don't really have to do that, but they don't really need to be thinking about that. So we're gonna help them stop thinking about it. Was it on this one? No, it was on the next one.
And she's on that light color.
Yeah, presumably. Queens are pretty fast. Yeah, okay, so she's on the next one, next to the one that so I'm not gonna take it back out because I don't want to risk crushing her. I'm just gonna leave it like it is because she's on this one. I mean, the cup is on this one and she was on that one. But queens are fast, and even though you think you know where you put them back, they might be somewhere else. Okay, that's it. When you put it back, you put all the shoulders touching, equal amounts of space on both ends. Put your feeder back. I'm not going to bother cutting this bird comb out because they're just going to build more.
So what are you feeding them in there?
So this colony's getting 1-to-1 sugar water, and this one's getting sugar water with apple cider vinegar.
Where's the sugar water?
It's in my truck.
Oh, I